And we're back. So in this video, I want to kind of talk about this myth of free money, and I want you to pay attention because it's important if you're applied or applying for the PPP loan. Now, the forgiven amount, whatever banks approve to be forgiven, the banks will be sort of acting as administrators and underwriters of these loans and the forgiveness related to them. So the amount that's forgiven will not be taxable, which is amazing. It's a great benefit. It won't get taxed. It's excluded from gross income, but there's a catch. And the catch is that, and I want to just kind of disclaim the fact that this is not yet final regulations. So this is kind of in the discussions. There is a hint that this is happening according to the tax law experts, but most likely it makes sense. So most likely it will happen this way. So I just want to say that it's not final. This portion that I'm about to talk about is not set in stone, but most likely that's what's going to happen according to the experts in the industry. And that is, so if you receive the PPP loan, you spend it in the 8 weeks, pay your people, do whatever you need to do, pay for rent and etc. You apply for forgiveness, so it's not automatic. You will have to actually apply. So you'll have to file some sort of a document, application, whatever it is. You cannot deduct those expenses. And what that means is, like, let's say, for example, you have a regular P&L. Profit and loss statement. You have your income listed and then you subtract kind of expenses and all of that. So for the purposes of this loan forgiveness business, you will not pay tax on the loan proceeds, but you also cannot include those expenses. So you cannot get a deduction for those expenses for this year. Okay. So what I suggest doing from a kind of a mechanics standpoint, if you get funded or when you get funded from the bank or SBA, whatever, or the organization that's acting as an approved lender, set up a block of accounts in QuickBooks or whatever system you use. Set up a block of accounts that will be PPP expenses and book your payroll, your rent, whatever it is that you're paying that's eligible, that is an eligible cost, book that as a separate expense because that will need to be adjusted and excluded for tax purposes. And it will be a nightmare for anyone to try to split and decipher those numbers later next February or March when you're filing your business taxes. Okay. So again, the PPP forgiven loan amount is not taxable. It would be your book income. So, but it will be excluded from your tax return. But you cannot claim a deduction for that. Just keep that in mind.